Hey, and welcome back to the channel. I have been sitting here editing another video, getting numbers together. I literally scribbled 3 things down and decided that I needed to shoot a video instead of writing anything else down. So stick with me as we explore when you should change your credit card strategy.
Welcome back to my dad's channel. If you're new here, make sure to click that like button and subscribe, and don't forget to share.
Now, I promise you, I'm here. Here's my book. Here are the numbers. You can see them over here on this page. I literally scribbled 3 things down here. I'm going to leave it in. I want to address something that goes on in the credit card community. Now, I want to address the fact that there are plenty of videos out there giving you the steps and the ratings of credit cards, and those are needed. There are plenty of videos out there that show you the levels of credit cards that there are, from secured all the way up to luxurious travel cards. I can find space for those too. I am actually guilty of doing tiers of credit cards and all the rankings and the roadmaps of what you should do. That is all great, but frankly, after combing YouTube, I have not found anyone who has really outlined when it is you should be making a change in your credit card strategy, or even starting a credit card journey, because that also is a change in credit strategy. Now, I'm not going to keep you too long, but I just want to have a conversation with my critical mass of people that are on my page. This is for you, to elevate you a level above the masses. Understand that a critical amount of people can really make waves. Doesn't have to be for everybody. And you know, that good information, it tends to stay fresher when shared amongst the family. So for this, I have 3 specific reasons why you should change your credit card strategy. 2 of them are related, and the third one is pretty much all encompassing. So let's get right into it. So the first reason should be the obvious one: an increase in income. Now, some people think, oh, I get 10 cents more an hour, I'm gonna go get the CSR now. Not exactly. Hold your horses. When I say an increase in income, I would like to think that you would get at least 25% increase in your take-home income. Now, what do I mean by that? Why 25%? Because 25% can actually move the needle. Now, I am in my 40s, and as you get older, you have children, your expenses increase. So let's just use an example of someone making $2,800 a month with $3,000 per month in expenses. Chances are they're using their credit cards as an emergency and or backup. They're paying interest. But now imagine if they get a 25% rate. 25%. That $2,800 goes up to $3,500. And if their expenses do not change, obviously, unless they change them, if their expenses don't change, they now have enough money every month over and above their expenses to almost fully fund a traditional IRA, which, you know, you can use the compound interest and enjoy your gray hair years. As you can see, I started mine a little early. Now, here's the caveat to an income increase. Most people think once I get the money, then I can spend more because I have more resources. Now you kind of got to be discerning in your plan. If you get an income increase, you need to settle any old debts, because old debts will nibble you to death with interest and costs. So once you get that raise, first thing you want to do is try to zero or get your debts to a manageable degree. Pay off anything that's not revolving so you can control your cash flows, because now your cash flow has changed in, but it's up to you how it changes going out. So that is definitely something to think of, but that is a prime reason why you should change your credit card strategy. It might be for the better, it might be, well, not better, but it may be to the left or it may be to the right. Maybe you get more income and you decide you don't need these luxurious cards anymore. You want to go to a more simpler cashback setup. Maybe the opposite is true and you decide you want to come through and join my channel so I can teach you how to do your redemptions and go traveling all over the place on the cheap. But that part's up to you. So we're going to head into the next one. Now, as I said, these 2 reasons are related. Now, if you don't get an income increase, suppose you get an obligation decrease. In other words, let's say somebody starts subsidizing your bill, takes over a bill from you. Let's say you have a house and you get a roommate. Now, all of a sudden, you have a subsidy on where you're paying to live. You now only pay half or whatever it is that you charge them. But that is a subsidy which you can use to actually rearrange your cash outflows. Now, your cash outflows, they're important because that tells you when you come in how much you're shooting out every month. Maybe you pay off a car that you had a car payment for, because you know terms of car payments 36, 48, they go all the way up to 84 months. 84, that's 7 years you're paying for a car. You're paying the depreciation, the cost of ownership. So maybe that has happened and now you have extra dollars. You got extra money because you don't have to carry full coverage anymore. So another thing that I would say is when your cash outflows decrease as opposed to your income increasing, that's why the two of them are related. You can then decide to change your credit card strategy. Changing your credit card strategy may mean that because your cash outflows have decreased, you can quickly pay off any revolving debt that you may have. You may decide, just like I said in the last example, to go to a cashback setup and shore up your cash in order to help further offset your cash outflow discrepancy, which is now in your favor. So these are options that you have. And it's very important to consider these things because you never know. Who knows? You got an uncle with an enlarged heart, leaves you a little money. It's not continuous money that you're going to get from employment, but it will help your cash outflows to decrease. So that part is extremely important. So these things are what you want to pay attention to when it comes to your credit card strategy. Now, the third and all-encompassing reason, major life changes. Now, that's very vague because a major life change could really encompass a lot of things. Maybe you have kids. That's a major life change. That's a birth. Maybe someone passes away. That too is a major life change. You bought a house. You bought a car. You paid off a car. You paid off a house. You got a raise. You found out that you do have a rich uncle and he's healthy and he just wants to help you out. See, these are the things that you have to consider. Now, another thing that a lot of people run into, especially in this economic climate, is that you go to college for 4 years like you've been taught all your life because, you know, you go to college and there's some magical job out there waiting for you, and there isn't. Or a recession happens, and now you got to move back home, which then may earn you some subsidies if you manage to keep a job. So these are all the things that are encompassed in it, but major life changes are just pivotal as far as analyzing and restructuring your credit card strategy. Why did I make this video? I made this video for people because in the credit card community, we talk about a lot of things and sometimes the glue gets lost in the sauce, you know what I mean? So we can tell you what cards to get, we can tell you in what order to get them, but we don't know your personal situation. We don't know how much you make. We don't know how much you pay. We don't know how much your kids need. We don't know how much your living expenses are. We don't know that. So if I can open your eyes to being able to observe when it is that you may need to pivot, then I've done some good. And hopefully this channel has brought you some value. So these are just some quick things that I wanted to talk about because they were on my mind. I didn't feel like doing a live because it's late and I just put all the kids to bed. But these are reasons that really should key to you. It's time to change strategy. Like we have a lot of people who were devotees of Dave Ramsey who have now discovered that in this country, you need credit. You can't live cash only. You need credit if you want to have some semblance of wealth. The country is built on credit, and your credit worthiness is extremely important. So you need to guard it like you guard your life. That's because, like most young people, end up getting in credit card debt because they think of credit cards as free money. Most older people end up getting into credit card debt because they think of credit card debt as a second checking account, as an emergency fund. And as I've stated in previous videos before, if you use credit for emergencies, you will always overspend because you will never, ever give yourself the bare minimum when you feel like your life's depending on it. It is what it is. Don't argue with me, argue with human nature. But like I said, don't want to ramble. I just wanted to give you those 3 things because they were on my mind and I just wanted to give this to the family. Now, it's been a while since I've said this, but please leave comments. I love the interaction and I just want to thank you all so much if you stayed to the end of the video. Hopefully you can find some use for this, and please give me your input down in the comments. I want to hear what you think about this. I think we can start a great conversation about it. But until next time, I'll see you later.